Hey everyone, it's Jake here from CapPak Truck Products. Tonight we just wanted to shoot a quick video. Hopefully it'll be quick, but got a lot of dealers out there that have customers that are interested in installing a CapPak into their own vehicle, existing caps. And guys are a little intimidated on how to put this thing in, the best way, fastest way, how long it takes, how hard it is. So we got an existing cap here, ARE, and this is a Z series, so it's got the hidden hinge. This is actually, what year is this, Keith?
2011.
2011 Chevy half-ton crew cab, so it's the 5.5 foot bed. So the unit that's going to be going in here is a CP5. I do have instructions that come with the boxed units showing how to install it with the forklift. I've installed so many of these things using a forklift, working overhead is just a pain in the butt. You have to do all the measuring, try to get it centered, and then with it sitting on the forks, there's no way to really test it out, test the unit out, make sure everything clears the door. I recommend taking your clamps off, taking the cap off the truck, flipping it upside down. A lot of people get real hesitant, think that it's a lot more work and everything. You just take your time, get the cap off the vehicle, flip it upside down. This one has a roof rack, so it's not going to be a big deal, but otherwise if you put some carpet down, in the box that you're going to get, there's going to be large foam stackers, and we'll actually use them to set the cap on. Then this assembled CapPak can sit right in it. You can actually open and close it to test it. We'll show you all that after we get the cap off, but just wanted to show you what we have here. The cap, obviously it's not in there right now. And we're going to get this cap off and upside down and then come right back and show you how to put this thing in and how simple it is.
All right,
we're back. I just quick wanted to show you. We got the cap off and flipped upside down. Easy part is this has a roof rack. So, sitting on the roof rack, no problem, but you put some cardboard down, bring the cap down, two guys, bring it up onto the cab portion and then over. Very simple to do. I wanted to show you the packaging. This particular customer, he's got the 5 foot model, the CP5, but then he's also a big hunter, so we got the gun divider set and the bow divider, which we're going to have another video on how to install them also. But this is how it's going to show up to you guys. Unit's all packed in here with styrofoam really good, and it's broke down. Basically you got eight nuts to put on and tighten up to put the frame together. And then these, if you don't have a roof rack, you use these large foam stackers, 4" by 6" for supporting the cap upside down when you're doing this type of install. You just set them right on here. Plenty of protection, gets you up off the ground so that you can feed the hardware through and tighten it up, and we'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to put this thing together and then we're going to set it in there and I'll show you the rest of the install. Real simple. Good. Alright, we're back. We got the unit in the truck. Very simple. Set it in. From this point it could be a one-person install. Put some cardboard underneath the window. You can actually open the back window. When you have it set in this way, now you're not trying to work up overhead or anything. Your measurements, if you want to take measurements, are much easier, but you can basically stand back and line up your doorways and your front window to really make sure it's good and square in there. Most important thing about installing it this way is now that the unit is sitting in there, you can actually, I have short arms, otherwise it'd be much easier, so I have to get in here a little bit, but you can actually push the buttons and you hold up on the unit so that the rail is on the rollers, just like gravity, and you can actuate the unit and make sure that you're clearing the doorway. So you can actually test the unit out, which is very important to make sure your front to back clearance is there. Now that we're going to have it in our place, I've got to scoot it around a little bit, but I wanted to show you what it looks like in the cap, how to test it. Now that we have it tested, one more thing that the guys had a question about. This is through bolted. Just like, obviously you can see your rails for your roof rack are through bolted. fiberglass is plenty strong enough. Also, you have your tri-cell. Biggest thing about tri-cell is it does have some structure there, some structural integrity. You just don't want to get water in there. Water can ruin the whole thing. So we have all the force of this thing is spread out. This is a 2-inch reinforcement washer. And then you have this bolt that is beveled and sits in there because the caps have a dome. So this goes on the outside of the cap. So this unit wants to pull this bolt perfectly flat, but the cap might have a dome. So it allows this washer to conform with whatever the contour of the outside of the cap is, so it's even stress on the fiberglass rather than it trying to torque it, which will really torque on the fiberglass. So you put your stainless steel bolt through your reinforcement washer. We have nylon sealing caps. This is what seals off all the weather from coming through the hole. And you'll see that there's this sealing ring. When you tighten this down, it seals it off. This cap is good till I believe -50 below zero. I've had them on my truck, power wash them, been in through many Wisconsin winters, no issues whatsoever. If you do have an issue, contact us and we'll get you some new ones out, but we haven't had any issues since. But that's the outside. This goes through the cap. I'm going to get my holes drilled and everything, show you how much you tighten this thing up, and basically it's going to be in. All right, we got the unit in. Knocked our 4 holes in there. If you want to come up here, I'll show you. On the outside, you have the 2-inch reinforcement washer. On the inside, you have these soft rubber pucks. The manufacturers don't always lay this Trespa, or I'm sorry, not Trespa, the extra strength. Everyone calls it a little bit different. This is the reinforcement to the ceiling. It's not always in there square with the cap, so do not go off of that. We try to eyeball it, the biggest thing, because unless you're going to lay a board across with a plumb bob down, that's probably the best way to do it, to find your center. The best way is really standing back, going off your center of your door opening and your center of your window. You can't really go off the hinges, you can't go off the screws, because none of these really match. So you'll notice in here, we had to go inside, obviously. I normally push my mounts to the widest part that I can, but this customer already has a roof rack system on here. The installers of the roof rack did not do too great of a job, because in the back it was perfect, but on this end you can see we got this centered up, but the rails are wider on this side than on that side. But it doesn't matter, we got the thing in. Just lightly run your hardware down, and I'll show you. You know, we just got it snugged, but I'll use an impact. You can use your hand, and you just want to watch this rubber puck. You just compress it. Nothing major. We'll go to this side, and obviously, like anything, after mileage, you know you want to check it, but it does have locking hardware. You don't want to just cram this thing down. You just want it to squeeze. That's all it is. It acts like a suspension. You're not putting a ton of force on that fiberglass. You're talking, the rating of this thing is 100 pounds. You're talking 25 pounds per corner. It's nothing on the cap whatsoever. So we got this thing snugged down. We're going to flip the cap back over, get it on the truck. I'm going to show you how to pull your safety stops out to take the drawer out, and we can put in the gun and the bow holders, and this unit will be ready to rock and roll. All right, as you can see, the unit is installed. Cap's back on the truck. What do you think, Keith, if we had to do that overhead?
I honestly think it would not be fun whatsoever.
Yeah, and just way easier taking the cap off. But it's to each their own if you guys want to do it. Overhead, by all means, you can. We're going to take the unit out. I just wanted to show you real quick. There's 2 rail stops, 3/4 inch wrench. You got a rail stop on each side. You back the bolts out, and then we take the unit right out. and we can, the reason why I want to take it out right now is to show you that if you have something larger in here and you need the extra room, that you have it. Also, we're going to put in the gun and bow holders, and it's easier to put them in real quick with it out, just because you can organize it the way you want. So we'll be right back and show you how to put them in. All right, we got the rail stops backed out. I'm short, truck is tall, so I have to stand up on the hitch, but once the rail stops are backed out, you simply let it come down on the tailgate, and it comes right out. Drop your tailgate down. The drop brackets with the bearings are the only thing that's really intruding. So if you have to put something large in there, you can. And we're going to put the bow holders in. Keith's got to get his bow out, and we'll do that next. All right, we're going to put in the bow holders. Now these are just very simple design. They got neoprene foam, squeeze right onto your limbs. So you just put them on your limbs. Set your bow in there however you want. I tend to run the sight towards the side wall. That way it's kind of protected. And then he doesn't have a sight, brand new bow, so stabilizer sticks out farther than his sight does. And then I'll go down, even if I have it butted all the way up, our divider holes, you can't see them, but there's divider holes that go right here. The bow is a little too long to make this set of divider holes, so the next set is 6 inches back. So in that case, we can actually move the bow back. It's got room on both ends then. This end you can put soft goods. I'll usually put a coat or rain gear up in here so that you have that room and it's not going to ruin anything with the bow. So once you got the bow in there, you got your limb pockets on, the divider, or the holder I should say. Just use a paint marker. You're going to go in and mark your hole on one side. I have to slide the bow over a little bit. Mark my hole on the other side. We're going to drill through with a 3/16 bit. You can't drill directly through the brackets, that's why you have to mark the holes. You're going to move the bow and the holder out of the way, 3/16 bit. Make sure it's very, very sharp. You don't want to snag the carpet and have it twist up with the bit. So be very careful when you're going through. Usually the front side isn't the bad side, it's when you poke through on the back side. Just go really slow and you'll know right as soon as it pokes through, you're done. And you're going to run the screws in from the back side and thread them into these units, and you're done. So just do that for front and back, and now you have a fully customizable bow holder. The gun holders go right into your existing divider holes. The gun holders come as a barrel end and then a stock end, and you will adjust it depending on, I'll run the barrel end all the way up here, and your barrel can go down in. And then depending on what firearms I put in here, typically they're all about the same length. We'll determine where you want your stock end to hold it. And just to let you know, you got about 6.5 inches of clearance. This is not meant for a pistol grip style gun. AR platforms, AK platforms, pistol grip, shotguns might fit, but it's for your basic pump action, bolt action, lever action with low mounted optics. If you got risers and everything, it's going to be too tall of a profile. In that case, then I would just use a gun sock. I made these really for the guys, shotgun, upland bird hunters, duck hunters that have just their basic shotguns. They can slide them in here. If you want to have 6 guns in here, you have 6 guns. You don't have to worry about cases. Otherwise, you can put them in gun socks and then you can lay them flat in here, like an AR and AK, and have it flat. So those will go into your existing divider holes. So that's the gun holders, bow holders. They work really good for holding everything. Some states you don't have to have a case. Other states you do. They most likely won't consider this a case. So you'll have to just check with your local ordinances and state laws on how to carry any of these weapons. So any other questions on anything, send us an email at info@cap-pack.com, and any questions, same thing, just let us know what you guys think, and hopefully you enjoy the product, and thanks for the business. Alright, so we got the bow holders installed. I just threw one extra divider in here. We're leaving this side open because the customer is going to decide kind of how they want to set it up, if they're going to put a couple guns in there. It's after bow season now, so possibly some coyote hunting stuff, some ice fishing stuff, maybe just battery cables and stuff like that, since it's winter here, and just want your necessities with you. But I just want to show you how easy it is. We can throw the drawer back in. Real simple. Set it in here. Close your tailgate. You angle it up. You get the rollers up in the track. Close it. You grab your 3/4 wrench. Tighten your rail stops up. Unit's back in. Done.